now's where the rubber meets the road, or the hot sauce hits the taste buds, as they say. We are ready to get into it, our hot sauce and success. As you'll see on the screen, there are 4 hot sauces that you all received in your fabulous tasting kits. And then you'll see 3 other players there. You did not get those in your kits, but our brave panel got those super, super hot ones. So we're gonna put them to the test at the end and have them taste those. But we really encourage you to taste along with us, have some fun with this, and let's get to it. Our first sauce is the Chipostal. It is a medium flavor profile, and the flavor is Tex-Mex. So I'm going to give the panel a second to get their hot sauce on. I'm going to taste while they answer questions.
That's actually for you.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I gotta.
Not too much.
I think I get generous.
I feel like I gotta
They're going to
knock
get
some off.
sauced.
All right.
And while they're
Yeah,
getting
go for it.
sauced, I'm just going to fire away.
All right.
Emily. Let you bite first. Everyone wants to know.
Let's go.
It's like a marinade? It's not
No,
too
like
bad?
a marinade salsa.
Oh, marinade. Okay, not too crazy. All right.
Not bad.
All right. We're not on fire yet. Okay.
No.
Cool.
A little nervous, but not on fire.
Okay, cool. So sorry, I pre-fired my question. Emily, everyone wants to know what works best, right? We want best practices, all these things. So can you give us some examples of how some of our biggest mailers are really transforming their direct mail?
Yeah, so we actually have a large furniture retailer that is working with Lob and has been a customer since early 2021. They came to us with this really interesting challenge. They were doing a lot of kind of set campaigns every month, but it was very cadenced and very kind of set in stone what time of the month they would do it. They came to us with 2 exciting challenges. One, how do we do a better job with like our trigger-based marketing campaigns based on actions that groups of customers are taking or potential customers? And 2, how do we get hyper-personalized? How do we target people, to really get to what they are looking for? And what we've been able to accomplish with them in just a few, within their first campaign as a customer of ours, we were not only able to get them to do a better kind of trigger-based logic. So based on someone's been on the website, based on, if someone's made past purchases, they'll get a postcard at a certain time of the month. But on top of that, getting hyper personalized here. So based on previous purchase patterns, if I purchased a whole bunch of outdoor furniture recently, I will get a postcard that has patio furniture, for example, just based on my previous purchases. And it's been really effective. We've seen a lot of success with all the campaigns that this particular customer has put out over the last couple of months. It's been really exciting.
That's really cool. And those are all things I feel like, you can do with email, but now you can do with direct mail.
Totally.
And it's been completely transformed, and the amount of personalization and customization you can do. We're really seeing our customers push the envelope, so to speak, with their direct mail.
Yes.
And so that leads us into our second sauce. Push the cayenne envelope. This is also a media profile, and the flavor is Louisiana. Now, I've never tasted Louisiana, but I'm excited to try it. Let you all taste first before I start giving you more spicy questions.
It comes out fast.
So much came out.
But here we go. Big guava.
I'm like letting you taste first so I can watch your reactions before I go in.
Yeah, I'm into this.
Hopefully everybody out in the audience is still maybe breaking a little sweat, but still with us out there.
I haven't touched my milk yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold them off,
Sure.
We're okay? All right. So speaking of pushing the cayenne envelope, can you give us some examples of things our customers are doing, with Lob that they wouldn't be able to do with maybe a traditional printer or using a traditional direct mail workflow? Just anybody wants to chime on in.
Well, I think, and Mike, keep me honest here, but we had a financial services customer that just during their pilot phase alone experimented with close to 250,000 creatives throughout that pilot phase.
Wait, you said 250,000?
Yeah, 250,000, 250,000 different types of creative. And like when I think about the traditional relationship that you would have to have with a print partner in order to accomplish that, it's like the barrier to entry to even get anywhere close to that is way too high. But they were allowed to do it. They were able to do it because of the 100% variability of Lob's platform.
Yeah, one of the other things that was really important about, that process was really around not only the testing of all of these various elements that would get, combined to create all these different permutations of this, same mail piece. But it was also about, how do we measure that? And for them, they had historically used a 21-day attribution window, but when you typically send off a job to your printer, it gets manufactured, dropped in the mail stream, and you really kind of lose sight of it from there. Well, with Lob, not only were they able to programmatically execute the campaign, but they're also programmatically able to understand exactly when each of those mail pieces was delivered. They knew exactly when to start that stopwatch on the 21-day attribution window, and they were able to get all of that data into their system, combine it with all the other data sources. So their vast data science team was able to perform the analysis and understand which of those variations outperformed the best. They also continued to iterate on the ones that perform better than others. And one of the most interesting anecdotes was they had included some kind of joke messaging that was really campy. I mean, like just awful, that they included as a control. So, and it wound up actually outperforming all the others quite counterintuitively.
Always.
But yeah, that's interesting because it's one of those things that you just would never be able to do with a traditional mailing program, and it kind of gives your mailing program a seat at the table for your omni-channel digital communication strategy, right? And you have the same level of data and level of insight to start making intelligent business decisions.
I had a question from the audience that came in that I think is really relevant when they're asking if the pieces were the pieces postcards or different formats.
Oh, these were all letters. Right?
All letters.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about the large furniture retailer that I brought up earlier, they're using postcards. So generally they're using a 4x6 or 6x9 postcard. So it varies with the multivariate, what we call multivariate testing with just trying different types of creatives.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I mean, this is all super cool because it's direct mail has gotten so much smarter, right? And that's all fueled by technology and automation. And one of those things that's fueled by that is address verification.
What a segue.
Which leads us into our next toss. I'm here for the puns, I'm totally here.
Done.
Address verification. And this one, again, is a medium heat profile and a Cajun flavor. So we're building, we're easing into this.
I feel like it's 3 mediums, and then all of a sudden it's going to be and this is extremely hot. Probably don't touch
I
your
am
eyes
pouring
afterwards.
mine all on my plate. So at the end, I'm going to mix them all together and just make something like a Franken sauce thing that I'm going to try. So, not sure how that's going to go down, but. You're it's yummy.
It's very tasty.
Okay, nice.
Good
Awesome.
flavor profile.
I like it. It's yummy. Okay. Anything besides?
No, that was.
Right.
I would be so terrible on a cooking show. I would be like, that was good.
That was good.
This was also good.
That's
I also like this one.
So let's be honest. One of the things that sometimes can give direct mail a bad reputation is the seemingly 4,962 steps it could take to get a mail piece out the door. But how has automation changed that?
I can speak to that one. One of the companies that we work with, they are a top, in the Fortune 100 telecom companies, and they've historically used the what we all know as the traditional print and mail service, where there's a million different steps, there's a million different people involved, there's third parties, there's a lot of back and forth, and
It's rough.
yeah, and when you take all of those components into consideration, it basically protracted this process out to the months scale. And everything was very manual and very tedious. But that's the only world that they knew. Then they came to Lob, and really they had aspirations of executing direct mail in the exact same manner that they conduct their other digital channels. So something like email. In fact, one of the beauties of working with Lob is that they were able to integrate and adopt the exact same process by which they're sending their email campaigns and map that exactly over to how they're sending direct mail now. And the beauty is not only were they able to do all this in a very automated way, and when we're talking about several daily campaigns in conjunction with several semi-weekly, weekly, and then very large standard campaigns. So, unlocking.
It's like trigger based when you're saying daily and.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. So some sort of condition was satisfied, and that instantiated a mail piece that went out to that customer in a timely fashion. And really the beauty is that they were able to do all of this with Lob, exactly like email, and be able to use the technologies that they had applied to email in terms of being able to, measure like from an attribution perspective.
Very cool. You want to add anything to that guy?
No, I'm just sitting here thinking about how when you think about the concrete steps that it takes to get a mail campaign out the door, like we were talking about those 250,000 creatives, right? I mean, let's trim that back to even 10 creatives. The amount of digital proofs, physical proofs, the communication that has to happen, the data that you're dropping into their SFTP and matching it up with the correct creatives, all of that is just automated through our process. And so at a minimum, it just removes the headache and it removes the manual error from that process.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, we have a big travel conglomerate, online travel conglomerate that uses us. And as they were coming back, orders were opening up again, travel was becoming a thing again. They executed a campaign of 1.5 million postcards in a handful of days through chains of approval that used to take them a month plus. And what was really interesting is that the only snafu that we ran into was on their end because they had a cap set at 500,000 API calls. So, and ultimately they were able to execute a campaign in such a shorter amount of time to get people excited about traveling again this summer when people have been vaccinated and things were starting to open up again.
Yeah, there's a really straightforward competitive advantage there that's speed to market that so many of our customers rely on, and it's one of the things that is so important to the Lob model is just that we can get things in the mail faster and closer to your end recipient faster.
Well, when you say days instead of months, that's mind blowing, and it's such a game changer. So. And being a game changer, lead us right into hot sauce number 4, our labanero. And we are finally gonna ratchet it up to the hot level. And the flavor is Caribbean.
I'm getting smoky notes here.
Yes, yeah, the same.
Be honest, how many hot sauce events have you hosted here?
This is honestly my first one, so I'm into it.
I don't believe it.
I mean, I think I might have a new day job. I don't know. Hit me up, hot ones. How are we doing? I will say I ate hot sauce for 2 weeks straight preparing for this so that I didn't make a fool of myself, but there's still time for that.
I put a lot of hot sauce on my breakfast sandwich this morning. I don't know if it helped me or hurt me. We'll see. I don't know.
Awesome. I mean, it's the best. Eggs are a vessel for hot sauces.
100%.
Oh, you're having a little trouble talking. Is that a frog in your throat or maybe some labanero?
So Tyler, what you were doing was down-regulating your
we're going in for some waters. Okay, all right.
Yes, no, that's what I was trying to do.
That's how we build up our spice tolerance.
All right, so a lot of what you were talking about and, the automation and improving process and operational efficiency, I would fathom some of this is done by integrations, right? And so vendors and platforms always are like, oh, it's a seamless integration. It's so easy. And then the reality is it's not so easy. So which integrations would be most useful for someone who's trying to scale direct mail as part of a multi-channel, omni-channel marketing strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. I can speak to that first.
Thank you.
It isn't ever a one size fits all, but we find that with a lot of these, marketing automation platforms, CRMs, CDPs, oftentimes they come with these out of the box mechanisms to easily integrate to Lob. In fact, some of them have them, native Lob integrations. I've worked with a marketing team of one that was able to get their creative, their data. We helped them set up a webhook in about half an hour, and in less than a week, they got their first campaign out the door. So, I mean,
wow.
Yeah,
as a team of one as a marketer, that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and we have integrations with Salesforce. So if you go down to the App Exchange, you can download a managed package, install it into your environment, and be sending mail in that afternoon. The same with things like Marketo, Iterable. There's a ton of notable ones that are all listed out on our technology integrations page. And, folks like myself and Emily will be here to help walk you through setting that up.
Yeah, I would add like some of the most interesting things I've seen people use like our Braze or iterable integrations for is if, you're in the healthcare space or you're in a space in which you're sending mail in different languages, being able through those integrations to kind of use logic to ensure that, someone who may be a Spanish speaker or a Chinese speaker or something, or another language speaker will get like the proper letter or postcard that they need. So getting super hyper personalized on campaigns, not just from a creative standpoint, but also from a language and communication standpoint.
Nice. As you're talking about languages, the Labanero kind of kicked in and I was losing my ability to.
You guys getting some like Halo
My
effect
English
going
might be
on?
a little
It's
slurred. It's from
starting
the
to stick
sauce,
around.
not from the other
Slow
kind of
down.
sauce. So, well, we hope that everyone who is in the audience and who's been tasting along with us has enjoyed these 4 amazing sauces. They're really fun to try, and hope you enjoy them throughout the rest of the holiday season on, all your yummies at home. But now we're going to make a not so subtle shift into the 3 other sauces, the off the grid sauces. And I want to just, give our panel a little round of applause because they're about to really sweat it out. You may see tears, pain, I don't know what else, but let's dig in. So who has hot sauce number 5? They're going to take it and pass it down. This one is called Hellfire Detroit.
Great, thank you.
On the heat level, this is on a whole nother level. This is 200,000 to 400,000 Scoville units, mind you.
Hellfire Detroit.
And the flavor is habanero ghost pepper.
Shout out to all our partners out in Michigan.
Yes.
All right.
You all tasting it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering who's going to be able to answer the next question.
I feel good about it.
Okay, all right, okay, wow.
Like I was really nervous to get
Yeah,
to
me
this
too.
round, but like.
Who are you people?
We are
All right, pass it down here.
It's
All right, since you can speak, I want to really want to know, there's been a lot of stuff going around, a lot of news in the news about the USPS slowdowns. So talk to me about how that's impacting direct mail.
Okay, questions getting spicier. Okay, so yeah, we love our friends at USPS. They are a mission critical partner to allow Lobs to do what we do. But obviously, if you haven't been living under a rock and if you're connected to your mailing program in any way, you know that there's been some operational changes at USPS, and a lot of those operational changes and kind of universal supply chain challenges have resulted in mail speed slowing down. And at a minimum, it's something that the industry as a whole is experiencing. But, to kind of bring it back home to what we do here at Lob, we have a distributed network of print partners that reaches every corner of the country, right? And the way that we route our mail volume is such that we're ensuring that it's landing at the partner that's closest to your end recipient. So, in essence, what we're doing is we're going to cut down that time that it's going to be inside of the mail stream, and we're going to ensure that mail piece, whether it experiences those supply chain challenges and whether it experiences that mail speed slowdown, it doesn't have to travel as far to get to your end recipient. So yes, global challenges with USPS, and certainly it's something that may be here for a while, may be a challenge for people to deal with, but inherent to our business model is kind of the unlocked solution to dealing with some of those challenges.
So we shouldn't freak out yet.
Well, no, leave that to me. I'll do all the freaking out. Me and my team. We'll spread out the panic,
I don't know about you guys, but is that like building as we're sitting here, as you're talking?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's like starting to like take off my glasses. I was like, it's getting really warm in here. I don't think it's my spicy sweatshirt. All right. Well, wow. Okay. I hope you all are ready because we have our next sauce, number 6, is the Carolina Reaper sauce. If anyone in the audience or you all watch the Hot Ones, this is the number 7 sauce on Hot Ones. So it's up there. It's going to be spicy. The first ingredient, I had to read the label before I came in. The first ingredient is Carolina Reaper and the second ingredient is garlic. So Godspeed.
Pass it down.
Godspeed.
Here we go.
My plate of the mixture of all of them is terrifying. All right.
Okay.
You all were so elegant when you
Going back
tasted
to
the last one, and I took a bite and I almost,
Actually,
oh, wow, I put a lot.
when it hits the throat, it's a little gnarly. It's a little
Don't
gnarly
touch
when
your
it hits the
eyeballs,
throat.
whatever you do.
It
Do
is a
not
little
touch your
gnarly.
eyeballs. Oh,
That's,
Emily.
I think that's a sign of a good hot sauce. Like
Oh,
when
wow.
it hits your mouth, you're like, oh, this is fine. And then like 10 seconds later, you're like, no,
Nope.
this is not fine. This is actually really hot.
This is not fine. We're
I've got
fine.
a- I'm
Everything's
getting a little bit
fine.
of
We are
sweat.
literally that meme with the fire around.
For context, there's milk in these cups.
All right, who can speak? I'm gonna just ask,
like,
and then
so
whoever
back
can
for
speak
more.
can talk to this.
I think I like the other one more though.
In the early days of the pandemic, there was a shortage of toilet paper from everyone freaking out and stockpiling it. But now we're actually in the midst of a real paper shortage. So can you give the audience some context about what's happening and then how is Lob dealing with it?
Yeah.
Like how we're dealing with this last
Yeah, I think this is another good one for me.
Okay.
So,
Hitting you hard now.
yeah, it's a little hot. So, as far as supply chain challenges are concerned, outside of logistics, I think that obviously paper is in short supply. We're in one of the most challenging paper markets of the last couple of decades, right? And at a high level, I always tell everybody like blame Jeff Bezos, and I don't want to start like a beef with Jeff Bezos when this
Oh, boy.
drops, but like you know what I mean. Blame Jeff Bezos because during the pandemic, a lot of the paper mills converted their manufacturing models from paper over to boxes because there was this huge surge in online retail, right? And you don't just flick a switch in order for that to happen. And so as they kind of go through the process of converting these paper mills back from boxes, corrugated cardboard over to paper again, there's going to be a little bit of lead time in getting back to a state of normalcy. And so again, how is Lob dealing with this? Well, industry-wide challenge, global challenge. This is certainly something that you're going to run into with any printer that you work with. But again, inherent to our business model is the fact that we have the reliability of a very large and distributed network of partners that not only does their own sourcing, but also has the backbone of Lob's centralized purchasing power to provide them with paper as well. And so we've got a couple of different initiatives in play here where we are dealing with these challenges. They're going to be challenges that are going to be there in perpetuity until we get to kind of get out of the woods on this. But again, these are challenges that Lob foundationally is built to deal with.
Sorry, I'm dying.
What he said.
I'm like,
Sorry, I just blocked out. What did I say?
Sliding off. I'm
impressed.
I don't know how you
Not
do
one
it.
moment.
Oh my God, I'm watching Emily. I'm over here, my glasses are falling off. I'm
Sneaks up on you.
sweating. I'm like trying to be
Sneaks up on you.
semi-human together, but wow,
Is my face right? It's like looks a little red right now.
My eyes are sweating.
I feel like we should always do some tasting while we do webinars. 'Cause this is amazing. Oh my God. Do we need a minute? Like,
No, I'm good. I actually
Gotta
went back
get
for
it
seconds
done.
on this, and that was
Gotta
a
get it
mistake.
done.
oh, you went back for
Okay.
seconds. Wow,
That's where I went
you
wrong.
are like
I'm
brave.
getting like dizzy.
Okay, I hope our audience is
Did
still
you sign
with
the
us.
number, or-
Am I hallucinating?
Did you see that? Yeah, my nose is
The walls
running,
are
I'm
closing in.
schwitzing, really not cute at the moment, but all right. I think we have to go there, you guys. This is our last and final sauce.
The last
Number
one.
7, the final countdown. This one is called the Chipotle Express.
Right,
It's
let's
gonna
do
take you on a train to God knows where. Pepper X should be familiar to you all. If it isn't, it is the one-time hottest pepper in the world. And the flavor
Keep it
is none, because your taste buds are going to be obliterated. I'm afraid for what's about to happen. This is live, so
A light down.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
For context,
Your small muscle controller was like.
I might have accidentally poured myself a large puddle here.
things
of
I do for this
sauce.
job.
Let's go. I'm gonna do it at the same time everybody else does.
Okay.
I got a good.
Okay, all at once.
I just want
Ready?
you guys to see
Yeah.
that.
One,
All right.
two,
Yeah. Bottoms
3,
up.
go.
All right, I know this is gonna be bad.
Oh God.
I know for a fact this is gonna be bad.
Just dipping. I'm gonna.
It's in my nose. It's definitely in my nose. All right, we're like done with questions though, right?
No.
Okay.
Am I
my
gonna
God.
get dinner tonight?
I don't know if I can ask the last question.
By the way, unrelated, but I have to take the rest of the day off. It's entirely unrelated.
Oh yeah, it's up there.
Okay.
Go the nostrils.
Yeah, we've got our medical
It's
team on
crazy because
standby
after
waiting
you
to.
taste it, it like continues to build. It like does not just go away.
Yeah.
All right, this is for the whole panel. Right, direct mail can inherently be seen as like paper. We just got off talking about paper shortages, right? But direct mail uses
Paper.
Uses a resource, a natural resource. So how is Lob helping companies go green and be more eco-conscious with their direct mail efforts?
I think she's in recovery mode, so I'll just set this one up. But at a minimum, we've always been eco-conscious here at Lob. I mean, like, one of the things that like attracted me to come here, oh my God, so hot. One of the things that attracted me to come here was that like we had a program in place like long before I started where we planted enough trees to offset the amount of paper that we used and all of our letters, postcards, self-mailers, checks, etc. And so it's spreading. And so, and so at a minimum, we're offsetting the amount of our paper usage by planting trees. But, you know, we go a layer deeper than that. And we're already using FSC certified paper. We're using recycled paper content. And we're going to continue to evolve our perspective on that. It's not something that's just going to be like static. We're going to continue using more recycled paper content. We're going to continue, you know, evolving our perspective on our carbon footprint, and it's actually one of our biggest initiatives. I'm like choking for next year. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, to add what Tyler's saying, literally, I was just telling them that yesterday we all got what we get is a monthly reforestation report in our inboxes, and that tells us effectively what we've been doing on our end to help with the environment. Lob will calculate how many trees we've saved and how many trees we've planted. Additionally, as part of our eco-consciousness efforts, we're always working towards having more like FSU certified paper. Just overall, just kind of ensuring that our carbon footprint is, yeah, I'm good, is you know, as good as possible. But the final thing I want to say is that when you are using a solution like Lob, you are getting smarter about sending mail. And if you're sending mail in a smarter and more effective way, you're going to be naturally sending a more effective, maybe smaller, slightly smaller batch of mail that you would have sent under, you know, the normal for kind of original or unique. What am I trying to? I'm using my words, you guys.
You can send less and get better results,
Exactly.
right? Like, and that's what I love. It's like not that old like blast mentality and all those analogies of sending out mass quantities and hoping something sticks.
To the recipient.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to send it out to this like anonymous list of recipients. You are
Targeted.
using targeted
Yes.
and customized messaging for each person that's receiving that mail piece, and so your conversion rate is going to be inherently higher.
Love that. Send less, get better results. Amazing.
I feel like there's like a bug in my milk and I'm still drinking it because I can't. Like, I can't separate myself from it. You know what I mean? This is like my only option here.
You know, there's some other stuff too. You know, the automation that we can incorporate with address verification, so we know whether or not an address is deliverable. We have that baked into our mail settings as well. So you want to make sure you could actually preclude the manufacturing and mailing of mail pieces that probably have a lower likelihood of actually being delivered. Not to mention we have things like built-in NCOA functionality. You know, we actually will return back whether or not someone has moved. So maybe you don't necessarily want to have that mail piece forwarded outside of the area where an offer may even be applicable, or maybe even break some sort of like regulatory compliance.
For sure. I have a breaking question from the audience I'd love to ask. I'm trying to compose myself because the roof of my mouth is literally popping off. I don't know how you all are so composed.
You heard me earlier.
Direct mail feels opaque when it comes to analytics. So what kind of indicators or metrics should we be tracking?
That's a great question. That's
Right.
I think what type of analytics and metrics are you tracking through email? Because with Lob, you basically can map that entire process directly over to direct mail. So maybe you are programmatically generating, you know, vanity URLs. So every time someone enters that URL online, maybe to redeem an offer, it has all of those UTM parameters baked in, just like you would with, you know, an email link. Same with the QR code. That's a hugely popular one with, you know, touchless menus, the advent of better camera phone technologies, all of these things, where you could programmatically create a QR code that's unique to every single mail piece that's going out.
Seeing that a lot now.
You're going to get that resolution of the click-through ad data, the click-through email data, all of that.
To put all the messaging that we've been talking about today, we do have like one of our financial services customers is using us right now to have a very time-specific offer. So they are essentially, when you go to that unique link or to that QR code or unique URL, because, data has been uploaded, prior to this campaign and everything, you are going to get a different path when you get to this website than a traditional buyer or something for like pre-approval or something like that. And it's really interesting that they've been able to use Lob to get smart about timeliness and having this window in which this offer is valid, so that when they go to that unique landing page, they're getting a very different experience because they've been targeted for that.
So great.
Yeah.
I'd love to open it up if we still have time to anybody who would like come off mute and ask our panel any questions while they can still speak. Give them a chance to drink a little more water, or maybe try this lovely array of sauces I've made.
Anybody try ghost pepper?
Oh, no.
Oh, like hard pass, dude.
Yeah.
But I will.
You know you're
I will
hardcore when you
I'm
bring
gonna
in
do
a
the
ghost
mix.
pepper
I'm
from
gonna
your
do the mix.
garden.
You guys ready to do the mix?
Oh, I'll put a little of each.
Let's get it all,
Yeah,
get it all mixed together. I got it all on my
hold
plate.
Hey,
So.
I got you. I don't know.
You guys
We
ready?
don't have any audience questions. We can watch the panel
This is our
do
final
more
dab.
of this, their final dab of
All right.
their, whatever your favorite sauce was, have another healthy dose of that.
Get it all.
Yeah,
Big
the
push,
Paul
you guys.
Rudd, if you will, for those of you familiar with Hot Ones, Paul Rudd ensured that they would do this, where he and the host like put all the hot sauces together.
Sean Evans.
He's the
Sean
guy from
Evans.
Ant-Man.
Evans.
I'm coming for
He's
your
the one
job,
from
buddy.
Ant-Man.
That's right.
I'm coming for your
Yes.
job.
Watch out, Evans. You got competition.
All right, you guys ready?
Oh, one more.
Okay.
I'll be quick.
What are you mixing
All
it
right.
all?
All right.
In a Cadillac.
We might not be doing another one of these events because my panel is no longer able.
Just somebody else. Bring
These are
somebody
famous
else.
last words.
Famous last
Cheers,
words from Hot Sauce and Success. And I'm excited to see who is been our participatory winner of the $100 gift card. So we're gonna bring that up in a second.
I did a double bite. Go in there.
I love that we weren't able to get wings, so they're eating this with chicken nuggets.
I'm gonna let it settle for a minute.
Nice.
I think my lips are so numb at this point that I feel nothing.
All right, well, they're alive and kicking still. We hope that you all enjoyed all of your fabulous hot sauces and this very non-traditional event. Thank you for joining us during this very busy holiday season. We're so excited to have had you, and I think